Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hello. Those of you on our Facebook group, Playing with Paper and Glue, run by our gorgeous Lynn, will remember that we did an infinity card back in January. It was a bit of a group challenge, and it was so much fun to see how everybody else did it. Well, this is simply a smaller version of that. So you'll see a lot of these on the internet, and I thought I'd do it in a similar style to the way that Lynn decorated our one in January. So here we go. We start with a square, and I'm just inking up, and all I've done is I've folded to the middle, and then I'm going to fold the outer edges into that middle line. So fold lengthways twice. So this is to make two rectangles, folding it into the middle, and then that gives you your lines that you're going to fold up to. You'll see what I mean. So it's actually a lot more simple when you're looking at it when I'm explaining it. That could be because I speak really weirdly, or it could just be because I'm a really visual person. But anyway, yeah, watch the video. Now I've inked those edges just to make it easy for me to see that fold. So as you see, I've folded crossways, and I'm folding the first one into the middle, and then I'm going to fold the other side into the middle as well. There we go. And then turn it over and make sure it's a really nice good fold, and fold it both ways, because you'll want this. It'll really help the form free up and unfold really easily, as you saw at the beginning of the video. So then doing the same on the other side, folding up to that centre line. And again, I'm going to fold it both ways. So look, I hope everybody is doing really well. My goodness, I cannot believe we are in November. And that means Christmas is like, just a whisper away. I hope some of you have enjoyed Rach at Rach and Bella Craft. She's had a fabulous collaboration this month that's all on the A to Z of Christmas. So much fun, so many big names, so many little channels that you can go in and support. So yeah, go and have a look at that. She's also one of our moderators over at Playing with Paper and Glue, and she's got her own Facebook group too. But anyway, back to what we were doing. Now I've gone the other way, and I'm going to fold the other way as well. I'm just checking there that it's going to fold in nicely, because I guess you just want to make sure that, all your folds are nice and free and so forth. So now I'm going to go through inking and inking and inking. So yeah, I got to say, I haven't really started to prepare for Christmas at all this year. I normally have done something by now, I guess, because when the boys were in primary school, I used to love making little trinkety presents for all of the teachers, and I do them as little handmade things so that everybody could enjoy it, because I felt like the whole staff really do support the boys. So even if they're not their teacher, they'll see them on the playground or things like that. And what did I do? One year I did little lanyards, and another year I did little hand heat sachets, and I did all sorts of little things. So normally I'm kind of working on that by now, but because I don't have that big group to do it for anymore, I stopped doing it once they got to high school. It's just interesting that I sort of don't quite feel like it's Christmas yet. Haven't even thought if we'll stay here or go away. Sometimes we go up to see the family in Brisbane, and sometimes we go up and see my side of the family up around Newcastle, and sometimes they come here, and sometimes we have it with just ourselves. And, this year might be another one of those years, because it has been a big year. But it would also be nice to get away, because none of us have managed to get away much, have we? Now, look, as I'm inking, you can see I've skipped some of the middle bits. And that's because, or you won't see it, when I turn it over, you'll see it. The reason for that is because we actually cut out that centre section, and that's what makes the magic. But you'll see that any second now. See how the centre lines there aren't quite done? No point in inking something that you don't need to. So yeah, I've just done the edges there, but I've done the full side on the other side because you see that coming in. Once you've constructed this, that will make sense. And of course, you don't have to ink. I just felt it added something. And I love this map because it's from a massive big atlas. So look, it's about 22 centimetres square. But as long as it's a square, it doesn't matter what size you use. So yeah, have a look. I fold it in half and then I cut out this centre square very, very carefully. So I'll use that square in something else. That's all good. And then that's what you'll end up with, this kind of a shape. So all I'm doing here is I just noticed that I hadn't quite trimmed to the centre. So I'm just tidying that up to make sure that everything is going to fold really nicely and making sure that it's nice and clear in the centre. Right, this is the magic. So what you're doing is you're going to put glue on the opposite corners. Now for this, just so that I could get really nice and accurate with my glue, I actually did end up using, what do you call this stuff? Sticky tape? No? Oh yeah, double-sided tape. So this can be anything, but I don't know why, I just felt like using it. I wanted it to be a nice flat sticky surface. So look, this takes a little bit of time for me to work it all out. And, you know, I'm not the quickest. But it did actually give it, I don't know, gave it just a bit more security. No, look, honestly, it's just because I wanted to use the double-sided tape. I thought it'd be quicker. Actually, I think it's a lot slower. And I put it through. The other one I did, I just used glue sticks. So, look, it all works. I do love double-sided tape for a lot of different purposes. Sometimes to get that really accurate edge, it really helps. Other times, it's really, really good when you're using really thin papers. So a lot of those delicate older papers that we use, or if we're using some almost tissue paper, great also on vellum and glassine and, you know, like a plastic window and things like that. So double-sided tape is really necessary for some uses. And for this, it did actually, I think it did make it just a bit neater because I was a bit haphazard. Anywho, I still added a bit of glue as well just to give it a bit of extra security. So I find peeling them up just so laborious. But if you get that first one done, then you can just kind of put the corners over the other ones and then the stick holds the other stick and you can unloop it and unpeel it and it all works out really, really well. I don't know what she's talking about. Oh dear, filling the silence. It's terrible, isn't it? There you go, see? I added a bit of glue anyway. So, you know, really not necessary, but sort of necessary and kind of cool and cute and makes it all nice and neat. And of course I got the edges over, so I had to just snip that off. Remembering that once you put double-sided tape down, you cannot move it again. So there you go, that's all you're doing. So you're gluing your opposite corners there and then you're folding them in. So see, those bits are free. Now you do the other two corners. So the top left and the bottom right. So first you're gluing the top right and the bottom left, and then you're going to glue the top left and the bottom right. And you're going to fold these the other way. So I'll just let you have a little bit of music maybe. Nah, you can have my talking. Ha ha! All right, so yeah, more double-sided tape down. So look, these are really fun. You can slip them into pockets. They're fun to play with. You could actually also make these little greeting card that you could give to someone just as something a little bit different. And they are just fun. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, they do them with the emoji faces so that then you can change the face. And that actually got me thinking, because my son, he doesn't use words to speak. And so I'm thinking that would be a much more fun way for him to show us how he's feeling. Like he could, flip it till he gets the emoji to show us how he's feeling, which, especially for little kids, that could be really hard for them to express. So actually, a different way to show an emotion. You could do it as a little story for your kids as well. So you could have, the 4 steps of a story, the beginning and then the main storyline when something goes wrong and then when it all gets fixed up and then the end of the story. There are actually lots of other things that you could use this for, not just, I guess, what you see it as. What I decided to use it for was a little bit of an interesting kind of journaling spot. I wanted to make it just a little bit of a different kind of a journaling card almost that I put into something, but then when they pull it out, it's something that's interactive and that you can play with. So when I decorate it up, that's what I had in mind. I wanted it to be journaling and I wanted each page just to look a little bit different, but then it also means that if it was your journaling spot, you could hide it away. So you could have, just sitting in the pocket, a list of shopping. But then if you turn it again, maybe under that list of shopping are your secret thoughts or secret wishes or little passwords that nobody can see, something like that. So this is how you fold that side. Again, you fold those outer edges into the middle. And this is where the magic happens. So now all you do is you unfold it and it keeps unfolding. So much fun. There you go. All right, so now I just noticed there that it was just catching ever so slightly. So I just quickly trimmed that centerpiece and that was all it needed. So it's harder to see with the map, but each page is coming out at a different page. So this is what I came up with. I had these lovely stickers that have that faux sewn edge around the side and they're washi. So I think they came in one of those Your Creative Studio boxes that I just adore and I always go through far too quickly. And then I save some of them because I feel like they're so precious. And anyway, on the right-hand side there, I'm just using some some ruled paper that is just going to be a journaling spot. And then on the left, I'm actually using the little stickers. Now you want it to actually be separated. You want to cut it into squares, whatever you're going to put on it. So even if you do an emoji, you want to cut it in quarters. And then you can still unfold it. So I tried to keep them all up the same way so that you wouldn't have to rotate it. And this is all I did. So I just had these little stickers and I cut them into squares because they seem to fit nicely. And then I think that was what gave me the idea of making it into half journaling and half sticker. And see how you can still see a little bit of the map through. Oh, it's hard to see on the video, but you can actually see a little bit of the map through those washi stickers. So it's so nice. I just think it's really cute. It's really vintagey and I love that it's on the map. And the map paper was just a little bit thicker from that atlas. Not as thick as cardstock, but just, how map paper is sometimes nice and stiff. So that just gave it a little bit more structure. And yet it's still thin enough to pop into a journal. So I love it. I'm going to make a few more of these. I'm wondering, I guess they always have to be square, but next time I want to find something that's a rectangle. So I'll make sure that I pop up in the right corner there a little link for the other infinity card. And so it's a larger one that you can use as well that also folds down to a square. So that's pretty cool too. It's probably a bit more cool because you get extra sides to go through. So this is what I ended up with. See how it just goes in there really cutely and you can unfold it and refold it. So there you go. There's the final little piece. Isn't that cute? All those different sides that you can use and it can easily slip in a pocket like that or you could fold it in half as well. all done. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!